It was about 2 years ago when Byton unveiled its very first all-electric SUV concept, and I fell in love with its 48-inch screen and the screen on the steering wheel, and everybody said, no, this is not going to happen. There's no way both of those things are going in production. But guess what? They've unveiled their final design at the Frankfurt Auto Show a few months ago, and both are staying in. As a matter of fact, they've added an extra screen, but we didn't really know what was the user experience like, what was the graphics like, what are the features like on that, and I was really just excited about just the size of the screen and what can be happening on that. But about 2 weeks ago at CES, they have finally unveiled all the functionality, the user experience, the graphics, and I gotta tell you guys, it's hard to impress me at this point, right? My expectations were really high, but my goodness, I was impressed. It's got everything that I thought it wasn't going to have. You know, all the cool things. So I'm going to present, you know, pretty much all of the features that I've seen right now to you. As a matter of fact, I had their director of global future digital product experience, Dre Nelson, explain it to me, and I thought I was going to dub over it, but he did such a great job, so I'm just going to let the video run. This was taped in the final design prototype, but at the same time, I got to actually drive this baby, and this is the second pilot production car that came out off of the Nanjing factory. I got to drive it for a while, and I gotta tell you, once again, the screen is not distracting. You can actually raise yourself even higher if you want to, but I didn't really need to, and it can display as much or as little as you want. So it can be distracting, or it could be not distracting, whatever you want it to be. This is Tom Malogny having a really good time, just like I did with this prototype, and later in a couple of weeks probably I will show you my interview with their CEO, Daniel, who actually unveiled something very interesting. Definitely worth tuning in, and of course subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already, this is a good time to hit on that subscribe button, and if you already have, then the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Speaking of Tom, who was having a good time, he is one of the contributors to this channel, and our next segment we taped yesterday in LA when we got a rare chance to look and drive the concept 2023 Mercedes-Benz EQS, essentially the all-electric S-Class. Not only that, we got to see the actual production prototype that you can see in this picture. So again, only more reason to subscribe to this channel. That's coming out on Saturday. All right, before Dre explains pretty much all of this amazing features to us, I got to remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byton. They are the sponsor of this channel because I've been such a fan for such a long time. It was a perfect fit. Make sure to make your reservation. It's absolutely free. It takes about a minute of your time. So go to the description of this video, use that link, and join myself and tens of thousands of other people who have already reserved this amazing car. Oh man, I cannot wait. All right, without further ado, here's Dre explaining the amazing user experience that him and his team designed over the last 2 years. Enjoy. Hit it, Dre.
Okay, so what you're looking at here is our dashboard at night mode. The user is able to adjust whatever they want to see here on the screen. So what we currently have here is what we call a all-in-one application, basically, or widget, similarly to let's say an Apple Watch, where you have a watch face where you can just choose a particular amount of information additionally to that. So for example, I selected news on the left-hand side and the weather on the right-hand side. So if I go in my settings, I can change that. I can change it, for example, also to a different color theme. The reasoning is our car comes in different color trims. For example, this white beige style, and you can see that this brownish look actually fits better to the interior, but it is up to the user. So we will provide that based on the VIN, but again, the users can actually choose that or select different color themes. If you like to have a little bit more control about your widgets here on that screen, you can choose, for example, your calendar, you can choose some news or your Twitter feed or something like that. You can also just select stocks or anything else. You can also just simply say, I don't want that spot to be filled at all. So you can see this is up to 4 widgets on the screen, or you go with this little bit more stylish version where we have a little bit more clean and less is more approach. Okay.
And I'm assuming this is for people who feel like this screen could be too distracting, because right now I see less stuff that I see even on the smallest screens.
Exactly. Yeah, the amount of information is actually not that much, right? And this is really with that purpose to not distract the driver while manual driving. Exactly. Yeah. But let's go through a few fun things here. We have, for example, a feature implemented which is available when you're in park only, right? So you can see these little dots that allows me now to swipe the screen over to our mode box. All these applications, again, are only available when I am in park mode. So it means I, for example, now can watch a movie here and I can select these trailers or these movies just with my hand gesture and my finger, right? For example, Terminator.
Oh, this is the movie where machines take over our lives? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're going to watch. High-tech advanced car, okay.
Yeah. All right, so if you have enough, you can just close that, or you can choose something else. But other people want to be productive while they're charging, for example. We have this beautiful office mode here with a video conference where we're gonna announce our partner in a few weeks. And that's what we're currently envisioning. We will have that feature also available while you manually drive, but obviously no video conference features. But you can call in, and you may even able to see static slides going to be shared on your screen. So pretty convenient, very cool feature I can't wait to have. I'm sitting all the time in a car and I miss out on meetings. I really want that. If you want to use your time while you charge differently, for example, kind of relaxing, you can maybe use it for meditation. And if you have, you know, if you don't want to miss out your next meeting, you can just set a timer, for example. It shows you also the charging time. And yeah, you can relax now. Now imagine we're changing the interior light and we're changing the seat position, and all of that really becomes a mode where you can really enjoy, you know, the time in the car. We have our game mode that allows you to play with 1 or 2 or 4 people in a car by using the rear seat entertainment displays as well. I can skip into this game and just like here, and now your challenge as co-pilot would be to bring our vehicle here through the space without hitting these asteroids, right? And the people in the rear seat, for example, would have a different challenge, such as either shooting or protecting us with a shield. Okay, so this is obviously scalable. You can imagine many games that come to life in this field, right? It's totally fun. Another thing we have implemented here, we have seen it in our announcement, is our connection to Garmin. So what we do here is we have our Byton ID and our Byton profile, and allowed us similarly to IFTT to connect to other existing profiles you may have. For example, open API connectivities like Garmin. Now we can pull your data and connect that to your Byton ID and bring this here in the car. For example, you just went for a hike and you want to go home, and before you do that, you want to have a nice overview. But also what we can do is, depending on your activities, we can provide you a charging spot maybe closer to a gym where you can close your goal for that day, right? So we can do a lot of things with these kind of things. Okay, the last thing I would like to show you is our selfie mode. So we have these cameras here, Alex. It's nice. If you don't mind to put us on Twitter, should we do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, tweet, and there you go. And you can find us on the Twitter wall in a second. So I guess these are really cool and core features we have introduced. All other features, Alex, I can show you also, but these are more driver-related functions. I don't know if this is interesting for you right now. What do you think?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about ergonomics and safety a little bit. So distraction, we're currently here in park mode. Let me simulate this a little bit. I can, in this simulation here, engage ISCC by just double tapping that little button. And let me change the speed here. We're currently in park, so that is obviously not how this is going to be in the future. But let me show you something cool. So we can, similar to, for example, the visualization at Tesla, show you the data information or the sensor information right here. For me as a driver, it's pretty convenient. I have a very close view to the road. I can see the speed, and I have the ADAS information right in between my speed and the driver display. The cool thing about this driver display is it's not distracting, since these 4 applications on the top are deeply integrated. So it means if I open one of these applications, these are going to be shown here on our Byton stage. So let me do this. I press media. Now you can see media is here. And if I start interacting with my list, you can see that the highlight is not moving, but the list is moving. That means my eyes are not wandering down to see the rest of the list. I can actually go in here and play whatever I like, right? Now, if I want to stop the song, I don't have to look at my remote control here in the steering wheel, okay? So you also notice that I took away the list, right? I call that the hero stage. That means the information of an application you are not interacting with is basically decluttered. I take the list away and make the chosen content to the hero. This is something I have applied to all other applications the same way. So let me show you that. The calendar, for example. The calendar functions in the same exact way. You can see that I can choose my trackpad here on my steering wheel to go through my events today. I choose one of those and I can see where it takes place on the right hand side, and that's it. But watch. Now that piece which I have selected becomes here, and I declutter the screen. The information is not distracting at all. It's focused and nicely designed in a very good hierarchy. Similarly to that, my contact information are working the same way. What you have noticed, I have now actually 3 applications open, right? I have my contacts open and still my calendar open. So if I interact with my phone, you can see my list of people in here. I can go in that, I can stay here, I'll stick with that, and look what's happening after 6 seconds. Boop. It makes this entire system predictable, and it means the cognitive load for the user is pretty low. It's very easy to interact with that. You also notice that these interaction models are common interaction models, like I mentioned, on a remote control or even on your mobile phone. The user doesn't have to learn more or new. Yes, the user will need a little bit of time to get used to how the system actually set up, but the behavior of it is actually a common sense. So nothing really new to learn. Okay.
Oh my God, I am excited. Let me know in the comment section if you are as well. All these features, of course, there are more features coming up. I think they're going to have an app store and more partners joining. Man, you know, as I showed you guys, I was driving this car while using some of these features, and man, I cannot wait to have this car. They're still targeting $45,000, believe it or not, here in the United States. 45,000 euros. Just like I said, my interview with Daniel that I'll release in a couple of weeks will reveal a very interesting trick that they might utilize to make sure to keep that price low. So once again, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, that would be a good reason to do so. Hit that subscribe button and of course the bell notification icon so you don't miss that and many other interviews with many exciting people in the industry. And of course I want to thank one of my newer Patreon, Mitko. Thank you so much for becoming a patron. As you guys know, I do this full time every day, including weekends, including no vacations, including birthdays and holidays. And it's because of my Patreons and my sponsors, I'm able to do that. Thank you so much. And as a thank you, you get to watch me live on Patreon. If you want to join, go to patreon.com/E4Electric. That link is also in the description of this video. All right, hit me up with some questions, but I gotta tell you guys, this is an amazing car. I hope you share enthusiasm with me. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.